Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Dorbin. This is their part number 240AS. This is a piece of mill aluminum that's going to have an inserted piece of Santoprene seal. Santoprene is a synthetic rubber used by Dorbin. I think they're the only people who use the Santoprene derivative of synthetic rubber. And I find that Santoprene from Dorbin is has better flexibility. It's more pliable, it compresses better, it doesn't fatigue, it stays true to its original form even under extended compression naturally. And I think the 240 is an excellent option for a commercial grade door. Why? Well, because you've got a big surface area here that you're going to be applying pressure against. Santoprene is going to be more durable. It will be a higher performance product compared to certainly vinyl. Maybe have advantages over silicone or over neoprene in the sense that it's simply going to be a bit more durable for those northern climate sort of applications where lots of surface area and really keeping it out is the call of the day. Now the 240 used to be available in a D finish as well, not only A. A is mill aluminum. D used to be the dark bronze. When we last ordered it, they said we couldn't have dark bronze anymore, so mill only. You can see a total projection. The drawing they have shows 1 1/8, and I'd say, yeah, we're right on about that. Thickness of this material is going to be about 1/4 inch. I'd say that you're going to be in that range as well. This is going to be exceptional for use as weather stripping because of the aforementioned reason, size, durability of the insert. I would certainly consider using it. It's a bit more of a robust piece of product as well because it has this feature to it. Okay, has this feature to it. Meaning that when you run the screw through the holder, the less expensive models by Dorbin and others, they seem to slightly belly from screw to screw. This is going to be a lot more rigid in this sort of condition than the thinner gauge material that will belly. The reason of that is, water is going to get, if this is being used on an exterior door that's an in-swing, water is going to be hitting this and getting into these areas, and this is going to keep it much truer down to the face of the soffit of the frame is where you would install this. I wouldn't probably consider it good for an astragal because it's it's synthetic rubber. It's not going to be really considered very durable, very flexible like you would use for a pair of doors. I've seen it installed that way. I just don't think long term it's a great idea because doors that are like this, a pair of doors, front doors of the church all the time, after a year or two they're more like that. So this material would be best for weather stripping. This is listed in it's listed in the site in lots of different lengths. If you have need for a custom piece, by all means let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces and simply indicate in the comment field what length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. And the reasoning is, if you have need for a custom length, we cut it to a custom length. We're going to locate that first slotted hole at the proper distance from the edge and the proper center to center as well. Speaking of those holes, screws are included. Historically, Dorbin does not include self-drilling screws. These are. They are exclusively self-tapping screws. So if you need to have self-drillers, even though they're listed as an option, this client did not specify self-drilling screws, assume they're going to be self-tapping screws. If you need self-drillers, let us know. There is an increased cost. The point is that this was not specified. Dorbin sent them that way. That's how I'm recording the video. It's nice to have that slotted hole there. So if you do need that custom size, let us know because the slotted hole, especially with weather stripping, will help account for the placement of the gasketing on the soffit of the frame. The frame may not be completely plumb And in relationship to that, the door may not be completely straight either. When you're drilling the holes for the screws, especially self-drilling screws, I'm not a fan of them because I don't have control over exactly where my screw is going to run into. That drill bit has a tendency to walk a little bit before it pierces into the steel, wood, aluminum, fiberglass, stainless, bronze, whatever you're drilling into, if you've not used a center punch. So that slotted hole will help compensate for the fact that the hole's not really in the best location. So consider that. Absolutely be sure that the door still operates when you're done, meaning the door still latches. Dorbin does not have a listing, a UL listing on this material, so be mindful that technically it would not be appropriate for a fire-rated door. And you're probably not going to install this on a fire-rated door anyway, although you could certainly run into that. But just be mindful that the placement of the weather stripping still permits the door to close and latch. Think of it as a fire door. And that the door closer can still get it into the latch position. So the point is compression and contact, yes. Too much to prevent the door from operating correctly? No, of course not. You'll want to avoid that. Okay. Now, finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Dorbin products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. I'm partial to Dorbin, and it's probably because of my extreme familiarity with their catalog, their place of manufacturing, their people that work there, their location. I've been there countless times personally, and just I know the part numbers. They have a relatively petite footprint within the marketplace, and they have their strong suits. Their strong suit is quick lead times, provided you have an abundant amount of material. They don't like small orders. That's just the bottom line. And if you have a small order, I might encourage you to look elsewhere. But if you're looking at some quantity, they're good, and they're going to get it shipped out pretty quick. Their error rate is measurable, but very low. And they do generally, not always, make good on an error. So I do have that sort of known issue with them. That ultimately it is not an easy process to get a mistake corrected. But I would not, as a result of that, never consider purchasing their product. I would review their catalog, and if they've got something that suits your needs really well, I'd go after it. Their strong suit is going to be mill aluminum. Their dark bronze material is not anodized, it's powder coated. So that's not a true sort of finish, even though they do offer some material. And if Dorbin had a strong suit that is soon to be quite unique in the marketplace, it would be their weather stripping for double hung wood windows, and their meaning interlocking weather stripping, weather stripping for double hung wood windows, and interlocking weather stripping for doors made of zinc and bronze. That's at the rear of their catalog section. Any questions on the 240 AS perimeter gasketing? You know, and this is thick enough also that you might use it as a stop. Okay, that's basically a 1/4 inch. You could probably get away with using this as a stop if you were building windows, like 4-sided windows. We've done work where there's a restaurant on the street, and in the summertime they, bam, open all those windows up. You want to close them tight, you'll run it all the way around, secure it that way. The other thing that, sorry to beleaguer this, but the other advantage that comes to mind is because of the thickness and the construction. I would really be tempted to get real fancy and miter my corners with this material, because it'll look really nice up at the intersection between the header and the jamb. You could certainly miter this really well, and it would be a great installation that way. Anyway, any questions on the 240 AS or any other Dorbin product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.